So Mahogany is poking his head, or I'm sorry, he just went up the stairs. He's not poking his head up anything.
Yeah, I just went.
Sometimes you just gotta go.
Cowards.
What does he do when you're first fighting you?
Let me get my Photoshop here so I know where you're coming up.
I feel like I got all the dangerous parts of being a paladin, no benefit.
Sounds right.
Well, you're not.
You
might not. You don't have any chance to fall, though, right?
What's that beeping sound?
That's gotta be Destil's headset.
That's Destil's getting some
No,
kind
that
of
was me
interference.
just stirring my coffee. I'm done now.
Thank you.
What?
Oh, that's just misplaced.
Stirring your coffee is electric feedback.
Oh no, that's me moving between the refrigerator and the computer. Moving the refrigerator between me and the computer. Not moving I moved. The refrigerator stayed in place.
No, I think the refrigerator's moving.
Whatever the refrigerator did, Mahogany climbed these stairs.
Yep. And my powerful psionics let me see what's outside of the stair.
And it's this very small room with a door leading forward.
Alright, I'm gonna walk forward.
Walk forward? Okay, now you're standing right in front of the door.
Open up the door. What's in here?
Stuff. You step into a library. The west wall of the room contains bookshelves, and the south wall contains racks of scroll cases and binders.
That all seems like it would take a really long time to read. Like, the amount of information Mahogany wants to read at any one time, it's about as much as was on one of those plaques.
Mm-hmm.
So, he's gonna head over here. What's going on over here?
In the center of this room is a writing desk, and on it is parchment, quill, and ink. And then that's another door.
Any pictures on the writing desk?
Pictures on the desk? No. It's an unadorned desk. Parchment is currently blank.
Boring. What's over here?
Door.
Open up the door.
And you step out into a hallway area.
Alright.
Give me
I
a
figure
second.
right about now is about when everyone noticed that I was gone.
What is everybody doing when they notice that Mahogany is gone?
Well,
Go up the stairs.
Kelian was helping assemble the armor for the next one they were going to try. Then he would probably go over to the stairs.
Okay. There's a large pillar around the corner from you, Mahogany. Again, floor to ceiling, but this one is a very majestic carving of a phoenix with its wings spread wide.
That's pretty cool.
Did anybody
Go ahead
else
over there.
not come up the stairs?
No, I'm gonna come.
Okay. If you're coming up the stairs, go ahead and move your tokens over here.
Yeah, I'm coming up.
Are these doors open, Mahogany?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he left them open.
Yeah, Mahogany doesn't close doors. He's not in the business of closing doors.
It's only for business.
A door's most perfect form is being open.
Yeah. When it's closed, it's just a wall.
Okay, Kelian.
Yes, sir.
Make a saving throw.
What?
All of them. Just all
Me?
the saving throws. You are
What am I
looking
saving?
at a prison area. Let me-
Which one? Okay.
Looking down here are metal bars running floor to ceiling, with locked doors, chained shut with heavy locks. And in these rooms, you see demons. I'm going to find pictures for you. The first three cells, here, here, and here, are empty. There's nothing in them. The next two cells these ones here along the back wall are a large, each one, they're the same type of creature. Large frog demons. I will allow you to make either an Arcana check or a History check, whichever you'd like, to identify the types of demons. This is what Kelian sees in the cell, those two cells.
You said make an Arcana check?
You can either do Arcana or History, whichever you want.
Can you put pawns or tokens or something to indicate which two cells are occupied?
Here, I'll just use Go tokens.
14.
14? You don't know much about what the creature is, other than it's called a Hezrau.
Alright. And I rolled a saving thing. What am I adding to it?
You don't need to roll a saving throw. I was just playing with your emotions. This is what he sees in the last cell. And no roll needed to identify this creature. You identify it as a Balor. A Balor is the most fearsome type of Tanari. These creatures are indigenous to the Abyss, and they are cruelty and malice personified. The creatures in these cells, they look alive but sedate. They're not moving, they're not breathing, but they don't look like statues.
Well, Kelian is curious as fuck now.
Okay.
I'm investigating the statue a little bit more closely.
Okay, roll an investigation check. So, Kelian, what are you doing to sate your curiosity?
Right now he's just staring at the demons.
Okay.
I failed 3.
Who has the lowest stealth score in the group?
I have a +3.
Serenity has a +1.
+1? Riot, what are you doing over here?
I'm gonna try this door.
You gonna try it?
Wait, we didn't hear about Ciclon or Kelian.
We didn't hear what?
There's stealth
Ciclon or
scores.
Kelian.
Kelian's is 7.
Okay.
What score was that?
Stealth.
Stealth.
Well, I asked who has the lowest. I know Kelian doesn't have the lowest.
That's why I didn't say anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's going on?
Alright.
2.
So
Yeah,
Serenity. Serenity has the lowest one then.
Riot, you open up this door here.
Mhm.
And there's a circular iron plate set into the stone floor of the room. And inscribed all around the circumference are magical runes.
Do I recognize the writing, the language that the runes are written in?
You look at the runes, and you can't even identify the language. It looks like nothing you've ever seen, and in fact, your eyes have great difficulty focusing on them. Like, when you turn away, you wouldn't even be able to write the shapes that you saw.
Okay.
What is Ciclon doing over here?
Ciclon, guess he go take a look inside this room if it's unlocked.
I'm gonna pop this room open.
Cool.
It is indeed unlocked.
What's inside y'all?
There's a circular plate in this room as well, although this one looks to be made of platinum. And again, the circumference is inscribed with magical runes. But again, you can't read them. The language does not look familiar to you, and it's hard to focus on the writing.
What was the metal that was in the one?
Platinum. And
Okay, so they're both platinum.
No. The center one is platinum. The right one was iron.
Okay, yeah.
And Serenity's checking this room.
Yeah, Serenity will go over here and open this door.
Cool beans. Now, inside this room, I guess I could just get rid of this one here, too, since Mahogany has looked around that corner. There's a circular ivory plate in the floor of this room. And let me check something just real quick. Bear with me just 1 second, please. And again, the circumference is written in magical runes, but when your eyes focus on them, you see the writing, and you're able to read it, even though you don't know the language it's written in. And the writing reads, "Speak here an oath of purity, that ye would not defile thyself with noxious thought or deed, that ye would seek to cleanse thy path with untainted spirit, and ye shall forevermore shine with the light of the mount."
I can't write all that down.
Here, I'll post it into Twitch chat.
Alright.
Incoming flood,
I've
Twitch.
marked up the rooms for easier notation.
Well done, yes. So room 1 has an ivory plate that's Serenity red. Room 2 has a platinum plate. Room 3 has an iron plate. What is Mahogany doing?
I'm going to go check out what's going on over here.
You step into the center room?
Yeah.
It's exactly what I described to Ciclon. And
Okay, cool.
Or no.
nobody do anything. Stay right where you are.
Okay.
Hmm.
The birds explode.
I will give Riot and Ciclon. What are your guys' passive perceptions?
I think
13
is fine.
13 and what?
15.
15?
Mhm.
Serenity's... I'm going to put you inside this room here. Kelian's down there. Okay. You hear a voice. Oh, I didn't bring my pawns over again. I am the worst man.
Are you a bad man?
I'm a wrong man.
He's a wrong man's.
Good old wrong man. And looking over, you see two forms. The purple one is a no, not a barrier.
A birdie.
The purple one is a human. The blue one is a barrier, and the purple one has a short bow trained on you. The barrier... I'm sorry, the human is dressed in leather armor. He's got his short bow out, and you see at his side a short sword is hanging. And the barrier is wearing silvered horseshoes on all four of his hooves. And he's holding his fists out as though he's spoiling for a fight. And the human, who has the drop on the both of you. Alright, state your business. Who are you people?
Said, I'll say, name's Clivia. We're here investigating this place. We got dumped here by the waters of the ocean.
And the human motions his bow towards this door. Says, your friends in the room, call them out. And if I see weapons, I let loose.
Hey.
Does Kelian hear this?
Oh, yes.
Get out of there. Come on out of there.
Job doesn't come out, guys.
Dun, 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 dun,
I don't have any weapons.
dun.
Well, I've got a
mean,
staff.
Serenity's got her maul still on her back, not her hands.
Okay. And the man who's speaking, the man with the bow, has a very bizarre accent. The barrier speaks next, and he doesn't have an accent at all. He speaks in the same tongue as you would hear on the streets of Sigil. He's all, wait, why don't you step back? Little too close for comfort, lass. He's talking to Serenity.
Oh, the other guy?
What's that?
Human
What's the
barrier.
guy who was no barrier?
The purple one is a human. The blue one is a barrier.
Sure, she'll move back.
And the purple one says, in his accented common, "How did you lot come upon the Tower of Fire?"
Just happened to be where we got deposited after we came out of the ocean.
Yeah, the ocean. We washed this up here.
And he says, "Did you follow us?"
No?
Yeah, the human asks, "Did you follow us?"
No, we didn't know you were here.
The
We didn't
barrier
know anybody was here.
Barrier looks over at him when you say, "No, we didn't know you were here." Barrier looks over at him. Says, "Most like they came from Sigil." And at that, the human kind of relaxes his arms, holds his bow down. Says, "Very well. I guess I won't hold a grudge against you lot for having escaped that wretched place. I wouldn't wish it on anyone." And the barrier asks, "Do I have your word that you don't mean us any harm?"
As long as you don't mean us any harm.
Yeah, we're willing to strike.
As long as you don't get up to any evil.
The barrier cracks a smile at that. This first time in the Tower of Fire, is it?
First
There
time
were
on
some
this
evil
plane.
creatures downstairs. Took care of them.
He looks over at his companion, and he says, "He ate of the tree downstairs, the one that I warned you against." And at that, the human just laughs.
I'll look at I'll look at Mahogany and then say, "Oh, so you know that tree? Do you know how long this is going to be in? If it's a permanent thing? If he's going to develop like this for the rest of his life, or if it'll
Mahogany
wear off
frowned.
over
He
time?"
said, "Are you saying the tree had some kind of effect on me?"
Odd. Say it happened right after you passed out for a couple hours after eating that fruit.
It was very relaxing, but I don't feel any different.
I'm gonna ask. Brett's gonna ask these two guys. Do you know about all the snake men downstairs?
The human nods. Says, "Aye, that's why we're here. We chased them here. From the plane where I'm from." And he looks to the barrier for kind of acknowledgement. And the barrier shakes his head. Says, "He's a prime. The world he's from is called Thula. They came here with a mission to extract a magic item from here. But their enemies got here first. They hired me on as a guide to Mount Celestia."
Oh,
Mahogany smiles, says, like, "From Klula?"
Thula. not Klula. The barrier introduces himself as Maddox. He says, "The human here is Banyan the Green." The rest of his companions are resting in a room near here. They are the company of Ariella Orcslayer. Banyan puts his arrow back in the quiver. "We have food and ale that we're willing to share."
hey, do you guys know the way to Bahamut's temple?
Maddox affirms that he does.
Well, maybe
That's the reason we came here. We're trying to find it.
Alas, I'm all paid up with the Orc Slayer for now. But once we've seen their mission done, I could show you the way. For a price.
What are you here for?
You asked that of Maddox or Banyan?
Matt.
And Riot just elbows behind. They already said they're here for a magic artifact. Pay attention.
Mahogany was busy thinking about the fact that apparently he's acting differently, and it's really troubling him.
And with that, the two bid you follow them, and they start moving down this hallway.
Okay.
Okay.
Kelian peers his head around the corner and keeps distance, making an effort not to be seen.
And let me find the next room. There are more cells lining the northern section of the wall. Let me tell you what's in them. This one here houses a large, massive insect demon of some kind. This one is empty. This one is a common form of vulture demon called a Vrock. This one is a sickly green and white looking demon tree. And I wouldn't know how to describe this one, so I'll just find a picture.
Do I feel a need to kill all these things in the prisons?
They're definitely evil and they're definitely alive. But they seem sedate. They are not moving. I'm going to paste the one on the end there. That's what it is. That's what you see. The big fat thing with the tusks. And as you round this corner, Maddox says, "Nothing to fear from the prisoners. As long as the doors remain closed, they're trapped inside." And they open the door to this room.
There's always something to fear from evil, but isn't that true? Serenity?
I mean, I don't like evil, but I'm not normally afraid of it.
Shouldn't we deal with it? I don't really trust myself.
The stuff in the
They're in the
cages.
prisons.
Yeah, they're in
What if
the
they
I
got
mean-
out, though?
They'd fall into the
Then we'll-
ocean and die.
They could threaten the plane.
Then we'll kill them then.
Okay.
Are you the jailer of this prison? I don't think so. It's not
You-
your responsibility.
Oh, you're asking if Mahogany is the
I was
jailer.
talking to Mahogany,
Okay.
yeah. And before he even answers us, well, it's not your responsibility, so I don't see what it. I mean, I don't like it. I don't like it either, but
There
They
were
seem-
some people from a jailer cult following me around.
Maddox interjects. Says, "If you want my advice, leave well enough alone."
I'm totally in agreement.
Inside this room, it's an armory filled with silvered pole arms of all shapes and sizes. It looks like the second edition arms and equipment list.
Is the pole arm too thick to fit through the cages of one of those bars?
No,
The bars of one of those cages.
it is not. But inside the room, it is occupied with many, many people, and they make introductions. So if you want to start taking notes, start typing furiously.
Yeah, I'm doing that.
Yeah, because I'm getting
I
a
can't type
feeling
fast
here.
enough. You're on duty here.
All right.
Well, you've met Banyan and you've met Maddox. The leader of the group is a dwarven woman, a paladin, who's named Ariella Orcslayer.
Got that much.
And she has a young human squire named Kitson Dane. A boy of about 12 years old.
Okay.
As you're entering the room, there is a charming young fellow that at first you take for another young boy, but upon further inspection is actually a halfling, a curious kind of small human that comes from the Prime. And he's playing a pan flute. He's playing a jaunty tune as you come in to entertain the rest of his number. And he introduces himself as Osos Pie Slayer.
1 second. Could you just give us the split-second impressions? Because Mahogany's going to do something as soon as he gets inside the room.
The last person in the room is a tall, slender, elven woman, dressed in white and silvered robes, and she has a blue iron staff that she's resting on, and she's introduced as Zilvir. So, first, second impressions. Osos, the halfling, is playing his tune, as Banyan and Maddox come into the room. First second impression is that this group has seen combat recently, and that they are currently resting. The dwarf and the elf both have a very serious, somber tone about them. The young boy is clapping along to the halfling's tunes. And that's your first split-second impressions as you come in.
Alright, Mahogany heads over to the silver pole arms. He says, "Ah, good. We don't even need to let them out of the prisons in order to deal with them. I'll just stick this through the bars."
No, don't.
Heads out.
No, stop.
Is anybody physically stopping him?
Yes, yes.
Yes. Okay, how so? What are you doing to stop him?
Standing in the doorway. Standing in the doorway.
Mahogany walks through.
Standing in front of him in the doorway. You're not getting a Ciclon.
You have to roll. You have to roll some sort
Okay,
of thing.
roll initiative.
I mean,
As
once
this-
Kelian sees this, he is stalking backwards a little bit.
Everybody place yourself where you're going to be during this farce. As Mahogany's doing this, Banyan explains to his other companions and says he ate from the tree downstairs. Mahogany, what's your initiative?
What'd you get?
14.
Alright, you go before me.
What's LC Clone act on?
6.
Okay. So, Mahogany, you're coming forward, and LC Clone's standing in the doorway. For purposes of this scene, you cannot move through him because he's not a friendly. He is going to bar your passage. What do you do?
So I'm just going to try to push my way through.
Nope.
Okay, make
What do I roll to push my way through then?
an athletics check, trying to grapple him. And...
Okay.
Oh, no, I'm sorry, not an athletics, to hit roll with your strength. And LC Clone, you can oppose that with an athletics check or an acrobatics check. Is anybody else making
I'm gonna
any
say-
move to stop Mahogany? Anybody else that needs to do
Clone, I don't understand. Usually I'm the one who has to stop you from slaying evil.
Yeah,
My
but
initiative is 12.
Are you going to act?
Yes.
Okay, cool. What's jamboree here?
15.
you'll be Ciclon.
Alright, and I'll push my way through.
Okay.
And then I'll stab whatever's in this cell with the
Oh my
silver quarterstaff.
And as soon as the polearm breaks the pane of force between the bars, the thing comes to life and begins writhing in pain. And it's a very large insect. It's a six-legged insect the size of a horse, with paper-like wings coming off of its back and a huge, piercing stinger off the front of its face. And as soon as you break the plane of these bars, the thing springs to life. Go ahead and roll to hit.
Okay.
Roll at advantage.
Okay. That's... I don't even know. 14.
14. Do you have proficiency in that style of weapon? In a martial weapon proficiency? Or just simple weapons?
No, I just have these weapons.
Okay, then you add your strength bonus, but not your proficiency bonus to that.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Okay. And you got what?
8-14.
A 14. And you stab in, and for a moment, it feels like you're piercing through like a thick veil of cloth, like a curtain, a thick, heavy curtain. But then it gives way, and the force of your blow goes through. But your blow just glances aside this thing's hard shell. Does not hit home. Riot, your turn.
Okay. Let me cast... I'm going to cast Suggestion on Mahogany. So let me see if that spell even happens first.
Okay.
Yep.
Does. So now Mahogany's got to make a whiz save.
Okay.
Make that save with advantage.
Wow.
7.
7.
That's not gonna be.
Oh wait, no, 10. 10.
Wow, what's the suggestion then?
The suggestion is the creatures in this prison are already suffering the most they can where they are.
All right. So here's the thing. I know that's not your intent, but I'm going to say that does nothing to Mahogany. Mahogany's not interested in the creature suffering. He wants to remove their evil force from the plane.
What was the actual
So now you
suggestion?
just made him want to kill things more.
The suggestion is that Mahogany leave them to their suffering.
The Mahogany leaves them alone?
To their suffering.
Okay. But yeah, that suggestion sounds perfectly good to you, Mahogany.
Okay,
You're-
since Mahogany should leave them alone, then yeah, Mahogany says okay.
Ciclon.
I'll put a hand on Mahogany's shoulder. Hey, let's go back and talk to the others.
Alright, I'll say, it looks like these creatures are already being dealt with. It's fine.
Yeah. I told you that, but you weren't listening to me.
I'll pat him on the back and say, "Good man."
Kelian lets out a small sigh of relief. He just leans back against the wall.
Serenity, Kelian. No, not Kelian. Serenity, Mahogany, Ciclon, and Riot.
Mhm.
I need a Constitution saving throw.
How much EXP does Riot get for defeating Mahogany?
0.
24.
24. Okay.
Fail.
Who
Nat
failed?
26.
Oh,
Doug
sorry,
rolled a 9.
27.
Ciclon failed.
12.
How'd Riot do?
Yeah, I rolled a 9.
12.
12?
Mhm.
So only Ciclon fails. The thing in the cell is beating its wings fiercely, and it's filling the air with this horrible sounding buzz, this drone that just gets in your head. And all of you hear it, and you're wincing in pain. Inside the room, Ciclon immediately falls unconscious. As does... the young squire. Kelian is outside of the range, but the thing is beating fiercely and slamming its body against this cage. As Ciclon hits the ground and a
afraid of
trickle of
that.
blood leaks out of his nose.
Wait,
Okay, so we need Serenity to roll initiative now and get on this initiative total.
Thanks a lot.
15.
15.
Oh, well.
You want to roll 2, Kelian? You're the only person
Nope.
who's not on the table. Nope, you're staying out of it?
Nope.
Good man. Riot, it's your turn.
God, this is so stupid.
Yeah.
Gonna cast vicious mockery on this. Well, let me see if that happens first.
Mhm.
This plane sucks and stupid, and I hate it. Alright, that works.
Okay.
So it makes its whiz save.
19. I'm sorry,
That beats
18.
it. Yeah, that still beats it.
So what happens on
And
a tap?
having-
Nothing?
Nothing. It's just cantrip. Having done her part, Riot closes the door.
Closes the door, leaving Serenity outside.
Yep.
Ciclon is asleep.
Unconscious. Can
Serenity,
I wake up?
did you wake up? You do not. Serenity, what's up?
Oh, well, now that we broke the barrier, we're gonna have to kill it. So, rage, reckless attack.
You really don't, though.
Okay. Roll this attack with...
This is an assumption.
I'm imposing disadvantage on the attack. Attacking it through the bars without a piercing weapon
Okay.
is going to be difficult at best.
I'll just throw the second roll away then. That'll hit an armor class of, and my maul is currently magical. 25.
Yep, that hits.
$16 damage.
16. That's a big number.
Second attack. Hits an armor class of 20.
Yep, that hits.
More than 25, 29.
Yep, that hits.
That deals a total of 10 damage.
10?
Yep.
Staying put or moving away from the bars?
Can it attack me if I move away, or the bars look at?
Oh yeah, it can attack. It's got this long, piercing stinger coming off the front of its face.
No, staying put.
Okay. Mahogany.
I mean, I'm still so
Yeah, you're still under your
I think
magic
we should
suggestion.
just leave it alone.
That's exactly what you think, yes. So you're just
I
thinking.
wonder why Serenity's aggravating that creature in the bar. Doesn't seem necessary.
Riot, what are you up to?
Riot's gonna see if she can get Ciclon awake.
And his body is just limp, and it's starting to feel clammy. I skipped the monster's turn. What did I do that for? That was dumb.
Oh yeah.
I'll just take it now. It's fine. Oh, he gets advantage on this roll, doesn't he? Because you reckless attacked.
Yeah.
Cool,
But he gets disadvantage because it's through the bars.
No, because he's using a piercing
weapon.
So I get to keep this crit. You have resistance to piercing right now, do you not?
Yep.
Okay. No, don't put it there. I want to go into the calculator. That's where I want to type. There we go. 5 points of piercing damage.
Is that without the resistance, right?
That's with the resistance. Yeah, it was 11,
Okay.
I turned into 5. I might need more d6s, hold on. I need more d6s. I gotta go to the backup dice. That was the sound of the backup dice box hitting the desk.
Well, I know who's getting experience for his fault today.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. That wasn't
That
too
is
bad of a roll. Alright, Serenity.
Yeah.
22. Yeah, there's some
What is
snagging
happening?
going on.
There's a hit hailstorm that just started.
Oh wow.
Oh well.
Well, that's not your fault, so.
Serenity.
Okay, we're good.
22 necrotic damage, and that damage cannot be healed. Take that off of your maximum
Is that
hit points.
with or without the resistance?
No resistance, that's necrotic damage.
I resist necrotic.
You resist necrotic, then take 11, but it comes off of your maximum
Okay.
hit points. Is there any way to mitigate that sound?
No, it's the entire house.
He'd have
Nice.
to put himself on push to talk.
Yeah.
I can close the back door, but I don't think most of it's coming from the roof and the skylight.
Wow.
Please use push to talk.
Destil, push to talk.
No, I was out of range of the back door is already closed. I can't do anything about that
That
noise.
sounds
That's
much better,
the
actually.
sound of the house.
You just
I'll give
fixed
it a
something.
second. It might be over.
Where do you get your resistance to necrotic damage from? What is the source of that?
My class feature at level 4 that I resist damage except psychic when raging.
What's the name of the feature?
I'd have to get the book. I only wrote down what it does. Give me a second.
Barbarian effect, yes?
I don't remember which path he took.
Totem warrior.
Totem, I believe.
Bear, totem spirit bear.
Gotcha. Okay. So mark down that that 11 hit points cannot be
Yep.
healed.
Mm-hmm. It's
As this thing reaches with its spiny proboscis and pierces straight through your clothes into your flesh and releases some kind of... Doesn't feel like it's poison. It doesn't have that stinging, burning sensation. And when he pulls back, the wound is not bleeding. It's just a hole in the chest that looks black. Ciclon, roll to snore.
Wait.
Daisy, Daisy.
We're not skipping you. We
You're
skipped the
in.
monster. Now we're just correcting that. You tried to,
Yeah, but
Wake
I
up
had
the
a bonus. Okay, whatever.
You what?
Oh wait, no. If you had a bonus action, go ahead.
What's your bonus action?
No, it's Ciclon's turn.
Well, he's asleep.
Okay. Serenity's turn.
Serenity.
Daisy.
As of being proboscis, Serenity's going to yell out, "Little help here!" And then she's going to make another attack.
Okay.
Serenity, you should just leave them alone.
Is the door still
Are
open
you
or
yelling
closed? Because
It's
last
closed.
I just want to point to that. I'm just going to point out the die. I didn't do that. Physics did that.
it says it's a 1.
I'm seeing a 3.
Yeah.
When you mouse over it, oh, it says 3. You're right. I was zoomed way out. It looked like a 1 to me.
So that's a 30 on AC.
Why did this? Just
You know what? Fix your game, tabletop.
you broke dice. What AC did you hit?
30.
30. That's more than enough. Yes.
That first attack will deal 11 damage.
Okay.
And second attack will hit more class of 25.
It's good.
For 11 damage.
For 11.
Yep.
And you're just using your maul through the bars.
Yep.
And you remember those were both a disadvantage, right?
Yeah, I'm using reckless attack, so it's...
Gotcha. So it just evens out. So Serenity calls back, "Little help here," as she continues attempting to club this thing through the bars. And the thing, I mean, you're landing as many blows as you can, but the thing is skittering back and clinging to the back wall, making this horrible drone continues to fill the air. And it's hissing and staring at you, and stabbing forward with its proboscis. Mahogany, you still want to leave this thing
Kelian
alone.
cannot believe no one else has come out of the room to help Serenity.
What do you think we're going to be able to do to it? Is my question.
So what does Mahogany do?
Mahogany still thinks it's a great idea to stay in this room.
Exactly.
So he's just gonna yell out of the door. He says, "Serenity, here, just leave it alone."
Proboscis' turn.
That's the name of the demon.
I just rolled a d10 to hit and rolled a 5. Does that count?
Yeah.
13 doesn't hit, right? 13 is
Nope.
good? Nope.
You are taking the advantage for reckless attack?
I did. The best you can do is a 13. So again, it comes out, tries to stab at you, but you blow its needle-like nose aside with your mace, cracking its head against one of the bars, and it skitters back into the cell. Riot.
Serenity, in response to that, will yell back, "We're going to have to kill it now so it doesn't keep making people pass out."
Damn it. Riot opens the door.
Okay. And the drone gets much louder with the door open. The other members of the Thula party are watching with great interest. The elf and the dwarf are tending to the fallen squire, making sure that he's not actually injured. But they don't seem of a mind to grab their weapons and join you in this fight. So what does Riot do?
And they're right not to.
I'm looking at my spell list. Dissonant Whispers look like my best bet. So let me see if that even happens. Right, calls out before attacking. Fair warning, once I run out of spells, this door's closing again. Okay, so this does happen, so it has to make a wisdom save.
And 25 on the wisdom save.
Yeah, okay, so it doesn't have to move as far back as it allows, which is fine because where would it even go?
Further back into the wall.
Right.
Up to the ceiling, maybe?
It's going to take half of Off the table damage.
Off the table damage.
Half. So 5 damage.
Okay. And it just didn't look like your spell had much of an effect on it at all. You saw its view snap in your direction, in the direction of the door as you cast the spell, but it's still locked in this life or death struggle with Serenity, where she has it cornered.
Okay.
Serenity, it's your turn.
Keep on swinging.
All right.
So that'll hit an armor class of 17.
That's good.
Where did my 6s go? Oh, there.
My 6s are all right here.
For 14 damage.
14?
That wasn't even a roll. What the hell?
And you've dealt some severe wounds to this thing. You've cracked its insect-like shell in some places. You've broken one of its legs. But it still
that's a
seems
13.
ferocious and ever. The 13 does not hit.
Yeah.
13 glances off of its armor. Mahogany, still staying put?
No. I mean, I don't have to... I can do things with my turn as long as it's not attacking that thing, which we should leave alone.
Right.
Right.
So I don't see any reason why. Serenity, have you taken damage that can be healed?
A little.
Alright, I'll heal up Serenity.
I mean, you wouldn't necessarily know that her other damage couldn't be healed anyway.
Yeah, true. I'll heal up Serenity.
Okay.
With a healing word. This is, by the way, my roll to see if I can even do that. Nope. Alright, well that failed.
Okay. That's a... What level spell is that?
It's a level 1 spell.
Level 1, okay. That's still... The slot disappears.
Yep.
You cast the spell, but you just feel the plane just suck the magic away from you. Proboscis' turn. What is Kelian doing back there, just out of curiosity? Just watching
He's skulking in the shadows.
in agape horror?
I'm using
A
cutting
little
words to remove 2 of this.
To remove 2?
Yeah.
Okay, does an 18 still hit Serenity?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Wish I'd roll better.
Like, Kelian's thought process is that something goes down with this group of adventurers, they have the upper hand because they don't know Kelian's there. So he's not giving that up. Even with this ridiculousness with Demon.
Serenity, 6 points
Yeah.
of regular piercing damage.
Mm-hmm.
And... $13 points of unhealable necrotic damage.
And you have both those?
What's that?
You have both those already, right?
Yeah, that factors in your resistance.
Yep. Okay.
As this thing, again, finds purchase in your leg, coming in low.
I'm at half hit points.
Riot.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I'm better than half hit points since my maximum dropped so much.
Yeah, let's try one last Distant Whispers, and that's all I got.
Okay.
So the spell comes out. Needs to make another whiz save.
How does a 16 do?
Fails.
Fails. Beautiful.
Yep.
So what happens next?
It has to run away as far as it can,
And
then it takes...
skitters along the wall up into the far corner of the ceiling, but I mean, it's still within arm's reach, and it can still easily reach you.
Well, not me, but him.
Well,
but
yeah.
Serenity.
Yeah.
And it takes 6 psychic damage.
Okay.
It's too bad I can't go anywhere because then it would have broken away. And I yell at Serenity, "That's it! I'm out!"
And this whole time you've been fighting it. Oh, you know what? Never mind. Scratch that. Nothing strange has been happening. Everything's working fine. Ciclon, roll to talk in your sleep. And then it's Serenity's turn again.
Hang on, I still need to roll to talk in my sleep. Hang on.
That'll probably miss.
I'm rolling 3d6, 2d20s, and a couple d10s.
14?
14 misses.
7, 14, 21.
27
27? That hits.
on the second attack.
That definitely hits.
That hits
Oh, pick one
everything.
Come on,
Oh,
roll big on the
sorry,
damage. Let's see if you can finish this thing off.
11 damage, I believe.
11 damage. It had 11 hit points left. You finally bring your maul down one last time on its head, just as it's coming in for another stab. And you get it right in the front of the face, between the eyes, and you hear a sickening crack sound as the front of this thing's face, the stinger part, cracks and dangles off. And whatever is inside that counts as a skull splits open along the front. And its wings stop beating. The drone falls silent. And the thing, where it was clinging to the wall near the ceiling just a moment ago, slides down and crashes to the floor.
Riot turns to Ariella and says, "I'm sorry my friends are such assholes."
And Ariella responds... Ariella responds, I wouldn't speak ill of anybody who can hold their own.
Serenity kind of walks back in with this hideous, gaping, black necrosis chest wound, closes the door behind her, collapses in the corner with her maul to the side, and just says, "I might need a minute."
Jeez, sorry, let me try to help you out with that. I'll cast Good Berry.
I've already got some good berries.
You've got 2, but I
Yeah.
can give you some more. Alright, you can heal 10 more.
Okay.
If you cast
She's
a
gonna
spell,
pull down some good berries.
did you roll your fail check?
It went out, I rolled it.
Yeah, he
Okay.
rolled it.
Good.
Yeah.
I'll have one good left then after I heal all the healable damage.
Alright, that's
Kelian, sneaking off on his own. So,
So-
before we do Kelian...
Yeah.
Without getting in any action declarations or conversation or anything, what is the goal of the 4 characters in the room with Ariella's party at the moment?
My goal is to
Daisy,
ask them
Daisy.
about the artifact that they're looking for and what they've done to try and find it so far.
Okay. Do you sit with them and partake of their food and ale?
Yeah.
Okay.
I need to make sure that there's no other evil creatures in the tower besides the ones in the prison.
So do you leave the room in search of more?
Yeah. And I say, I've got to go make sure that we're safe here. I mean, the ones in the prison are clearly dealt with, but there could be other ones elsewhere.
Okay.
Mahogany, don't wait for the rest of us. You'll get yourself killed.
And I'll
And-
say, Serenity, evil waits for no one.
Kelian,
Send the hummingbirds.
Yes, sir.
send the hummingbirds.
I would, but they can't open doors.
This room is a fully stocked kitchen. There's a stove in one corner lit with the blue fire of the tower. You see tools and utensils, but there's no food in this room.
Damn! I was hoping there was more baked bread.
And Mahogany comes over to this room here.
Mm-hmm. Opens it up.
This room is filled with some sort of mechanism along the back 2 walls. Give me a second here to... the mechanisms involve a network of stone levers connected with the piping that comes up from the floor below. The piping snakes out of the connecting hole in the floor and snakes along the floors and the walls and connects to these machines along the back wall of this room. And arcane runes are carved into the base of each of these levers in this machine.
Alright. Well, that's curious, but...
I
Might
mean,
as well-
Serenity isn't going to let him wander around alone, so...
Okay.
Alright, Serenity, let's check out this room first. We can examine the levers once, make sure there's nothing dangerous here.
Are you sure you're in any condition to smite evil right now? What do you even have left in you?
I send the birds after them.
Riot. Alone in the room with the Thula party, the halfling has watched your companions leave with their declarations of, I must make sure there's no evil. And then I'm going to make sure he doesn't get himself killed. He watches this with great amusement. And after they leave, he pulls a mug of ale from this barrel they have sitting off to one side next to their bedrolls, hands it over to you. Because your friends know we have drink, right?
Say, well, they'll know once they get back. Unless we drink it all first, and I wink.
Do they do this often?
No, this is new.
And Ariella speaks up. Says, your friend, you wouldn't call him an elf. I don't know the word for his race.
Genasi is what you're looking for.
And then she kind of looks over at Maddox, and he nods in affirmation, and she continues. His heart is in the right place. But righteousness must be tempered with caution.
Oh, you'll find no greater belief in caution than me.
Maddox quickly assures everybody that the two unconscious people in the room, no harm will come to them. They're just going to be knocked out for a little while. The
How
squire...
a little while?
Huh?
I would like to know how a little while is, how long that is.
Okay, until I tell you you wake up. I'll let you know, don't worry. So where are you steering the conversation to, Riot, in this room?
I'm gonna ask, well, more specifics about the business. I'll tell them what Maddox told us and ask if she can fill in any more of the details.
Okay. As you begin asking questions, Banyan and Maddox stand back up, and Banyan tells Ariella they're going to resume their guard. And they leave the room and take up positions just outside the door. Ariella asks you if you know anything about the Yuan-Ti.
Would I?
You would not.
What kind of check? Yeah, I'll just shake my head then.
Wouldn't even allow a check. Not somebody who lived their whole life in Sigil. She
Yeah,
tells you they're a race of horrible snake people that worship foul gods and delve into dark necromancies.
Oh, then we do know. We met several up on our way here.
This is no doubt some of the number that we chased here. And so you've seen their mutations, you've seen their eyes, their tongues, their arms.
Mm-hmm.
The terrible way they carve their own flesh to look more like their dark gods. The dwarf homes in the mountains, and the place we come from, has been at war with this horrible blight for many centuries. And we found information that some of their number had learned about an artifact stored on another plane of existence. And so we followed them to their fell ritual. And the whole time she's explaining this to you, Osos, the halfling, he looks impatient with the story. Like, tapping his fingers against his leg impatiently, rolling his eyes at the dry way with which she's telling it. But the gist of it is that the Yuan-Ti learned a way to build a portal out of their world, and they arrived in Sigil. So when Ariella and her party charged with hunting down this faction of the Yuan-Ti and bringing them down before they came into possession of this artifact, they found themselves in Sigil, which was extremely disorienting. But with some research and some asking around, they managed to find Maddox and learned, because they knew the place where the Yuan-Ti were going was called the Tower of Fire. And Maddox knew of the place as standing in the oceans of Mount Celestia, and so he arranged to guide them here.
Alright.
The whole conversation, the elven woman in the room, she says very little other than just the polite introductions. She seems very uncomfortable just being in this place.
I'll ask, to all of you are from the same prime plane?
Ariella nods and says, all except for the goat man. Serenity and the other guy are going to come check out this room. This is another armory. This room is filled with racks of swords and axes of all different shapes and sizes. All look to be silvered.
Alright, well, there's a couple more rooms to check.
Now, I mean, there's demons behind you. Did you want to slaughter them?
I currently don't think it would be a very, very good idea. Good
man. What is Kelian doing? You're just kind of skulking around, making sure that you're not found by the other two?
Yep.
Okay. And this last room here...
I don't know, man. My passive perception's pretty good. I might spot it.
This room is a fletchery. I'm sorry, I just kicked my desk. A fletchery contains a lot of short bows and long bows. And several quivers are hanging along the eastern wall, filled with silvered arrows. Notably, one of the hooks is empty, with no quiver hanging on it. You see containers of unworked shafts, arrowheads of various types of materials, and feathers of all different colors. And on the far side of the room is, on one of the workbenches, is an open scroll case with paper spilling out of it.
Any slings?
There's no slings, no.
Okay, well, that's not very useful to me, so... And I don't want to read all the scrolls.
Riot.
So I'm going to go over here to the last door.
After conversing with the Thula party for a few moments, Ciclon and the young boy finally come to. And Ciclon, you wake up with a splitting headache. It feels you've been... Imagine like having a whole week in a row of green beer day.
No thanks. Never again.
And as soon as you wake up, the halfling hands you a mug of frothy ale.
Oh, no. Push the mug away and say thank you, but...
He shrugged.
What happened, Riot?
He shrugs, he turns it aside, and hands it to the young boy instead, who's waking up groggily. And the boy grasps it and starts bringing it up to his face, but then swift like lightning, Ariella reaches over and smacks his hand hard. And he puts the mug back down.
Right, what the hell happened? Like, I remember that Mahogany was being stupid and tried to stop him. And
Mahogany was being stupid, and then Serenity followed up with a stupid chaser, and then they're off being stupid together somewhere.
Oh, so there's more stupid going on? Well, then I should probably go and make sure to mitigate the stupid.
And Osos hears
the smart people.
Osos turns back to Riot. He says, "Your friends do all know we have drink, right?"
Yeah, that's a good point. Ciclon, go tell them we have drink.
You guys are moving on to this door here, or this room here.
Actually, one question.
Sure.
Actually, hang on. Before that happens, I gotta look something up.
Okay. You mean before Ciclon leaves the room?
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm just right outside the door now.
I got to roll to see if the spell happens. Off the table rolls are the best rolls. It does not happen.
You guys, everybody in Twitch chat watching, you can just hover over the dice and just push the R button a few times to roll it. And the dice doesn't go anywhere, and it never goes off the table.
I love rolling off the table.
But I have informed these players of that time and time again, and still they insist on doing this.
So you know you can use it for boring, right? Like really boring?
I use it.
It's okay.
So what's going on over here, Riot? What are you casting?
I was casting Message, which is a cantrip, so I could do it again.
Okay.
To inform these other two that we have beer.
And Mahogany and Serenity, you both get a message in your head saying, "Hey, we have beer."
And I'll write back, and can I say anything back, or do I have to?
You can say something back.
And I'll say,
no one
we'll
will
be right
hear it,
there. We just have one more room to check.
Okay, and I'll tell the rest of them. They'll be back shortly for their beer.
In the room, Riot, Ariella tells you, we've made sure this floor of the tower is secure. We patrol in pairs every several hours. I assure you there's no danger here save for what's locked up in the cells. And looking into this room, up in the corner, it's a mirror of the corner room on the other side. The piping coming up, going into all the bizarre machinery, the levers with the arcane runes. And now I can save this floor.
Alright, I'll head back.
Well, let's get some of that beer.
And I'll
Brad's
say,
got,
you
Brad's
have
got a
beer?
couple mugs of beer waiting for you.
I have heard a lot about the evils of alcohol, and I suppose I should do my part to remove the plane.
So what is Kelian doing?
I will glare at Mahogany, and then... You know what? Considered, I will take that mug of beer.
So,
Kelian's still
Serenity
smoking.
is... Okay. Serenity is gonna open her shirt a bit and show the hideous necrosis around the chest, saying, can either of you do anything about this? Looks actually, all the spellcasters are in the room, so...
Oh, I burned my healing word for the day for Riot.
Riot's got
The Githzerai
nothing.
didn't do anything about it.
And Maddox shakes his head. That's an abyssal wound. It would take great healing magic to bring it back. To mend that flesh. It's beyond our abilities.
What sort of healing magic?
The sort that a level 5 druid wouldn't have.
Okay.
Will it heal on its own?
And Maddox shrugs, says it may. Depends on the demon who dealt it. The one in that cell was a Chasmi, an insect demon from the abyss. One of the lower forms of Tanari.
Weaker than, hopefully, I don't know. Well,
Weak enough that we could kill it.
We can enough that I could kill it. Be real here.
Hey, bardic magic doesn't sound good. It was good.
Actually, it sounds like a lot. I've
I
noticed.
definitely remember helping you. I remember healing going on. I remember stabbing
you have been anti-helpful, Mahogany. You were negatively helpful. Because if you had done nothing there, then
there would be one
Stop.
more evil on plane.
Then that
Silence.
would not have happened.
Does anybody in the room speak Elvish?
It's another thing or material tongue, so I don't think so.
Don't think so? The elf in the corner of the room looks at Ariella, and she looks annoyed, like beyond annoyed. And she says something to Ariella as she nods at Ciclon and Mahogany, who are bickering back and forth. She says something to Ariella in Elvish, and Ariella just holds up her hand. It doesn't say anything.
To us or to them?
No, to the elf.
Okay.
She just holds up her hand for a moment, and lets you guys continue bickering in the room.
Alright, then there would be one more evil on the plane.
I just had to kill it because obviously once you stabbed it, it started knocking people out.
And Serenity, your assistance was much appreciated. Although, really, we should have just left it alone at that point.
Yeah, we should have, and you didn't.
Why do you
Because-
want to leave the ones in... never mind, I don't even...
He's got the right idea.
Like, literally, Ciclon is typing in all caps just the letter A, just pressing and holding Shift A, like this. Yeah, like, this is what's going on in his brain right now. Can I not say
It's
that here?
awfully easy to do nothing while the evils move across among us.
And Osos
But
says,
these evils are contained. They're not moving anywhere. They
Osos,
were not moving.
who is laughing at this point, looks at Ariella, says, I like these lot. They're jovial.
I like your beer too, thank you.